Oh, well, look at this. Here a little bit, falling behind a little bit, but I just now watched the show, and it is criminal that they only get to play one set. I understand that it's at a festival, and there's others there, including Billy Strings. It was cool to see some pictures of King Gizzard and Billy hanging out a little bit. And as you see here, I guess we'll call it maybe like the old school section of the show starting out. And you got the metal section, and then down here to the jam section. But if you really love the synth stuff or KGLW, those albums are your thing. Just not enough time for all of it. And oh man, this down here is kind of my stuff. While I liked this, I tolerated this, I just absolutely loved all of this. And it is amazing how well they can do with Hypertension live. Like even these live shows have been great. All the American shows and then United States shows, I should say. They are I still think of them as a studio band, but man, they really pull it off live. And like I said, I kind of tolerated all this. I don't love that new album. I was never a big fan of Hell. So then what a way to start out the show though. Cellophane in here. I'm like a robot stop hot water guy, but this isn't too bad. The I'm in Your Mind run through with Cellophane in there. Then like I said, you get into the metal section. They go hard. It was much better with the visuals on stage. Seeing Stu up there acting like a metal god. But then also, as I mentioned down here, my favorite, and probably Hypertension maybe won it for me, but then Iron Lung, maybe my all-time favorite song by them at this point. It's just amazing all the stuff they did in 2022. All the way back then they were a good band. Then you had the stuff in 2017. I don't know, and we'll see, I know people love that metal album, but that's not necessarily for me. Although, like I said, it was fun to watch them. But then down here at one point, Ambrose busts out the saxophone. He's like singing. He's playing a saxophone. He's got the tambourine in his hand. It's just unbelievable, everything that's going on. But then no synth stuff, no microtone stuff. So I don't know. Felt a little bit like, oh, we need another set. They need another show. So that is it for now. That's about all I got here. And I just wanted to see a King Gizzard whiteboard for sure. I know some of you are like, oh, you can't do that. That's worse than a goose whiteboard. First of all, no, it is not. That should not be tolerated. But this, however, we can tolerate. And now we will maybe move over to the second portion of the video. Oh, and just like that, we are back. Now, I have not had the LivePhish app for a couple of years, and I have really been nerding out this week. And one thing that was really disappointing, if you're a King Gizzard fan, you happen to be here, and you're like, what's going on? What just happened? We're talking Phish all of a sudden. And listen to this. You ain't going to believe this. Loving Cup is the #1 song on LivePhish Plus right now. I don't know if that's accurate. It seems accurate to me, actually. I believe it, totally. Or if just maybe there's just some program that just spits out a song, changes every few days on the app. It was from the August 5th show, one of the more recent, if not the last night there at MSG. And, was it the last night? It may have been the last night, actually. And it was the opener, so perhaps it's getting a little padded just with that being one of the most recent shows and the opener of that show. Or it's just a really sad indictment on Phish fans right now, the ones that have the app anyhow. We are talking King Chomper stuff. That's the #1 song. Not the new songs. There was some tweezers up there, I will say, But all the great hoods this summer we had, some mini sands that were awesome. Like I said, the new songs, love them or hate them. Maybe you would at least check them out. Nope, Loving Cup, numero uno. And then another thing I stumbled upon was June 24th, 04. Obviously 04, very polarizing year. In fact, maybe not. Most people just seem to think it wasn't a very great year for many reasons. A year a lot of us would like to forget, with a couple of good shows sprinkled in. And this one, Deer Creek, June 24th, 04, was just like weird. It happened to me one time when I was up there at Alpine in 04. It's like they would finish a song and they would completely stop, maybe mingle a bit on stage, or even not, and then 30, 40 seconds later finally get to the next song, which is obviously extremely unusual for them. Some nights you just got alligator mouse all the way through the set, similar to what King Gizzard did here in Sweden, like a lot of 90s Phish. Even still now, occasionally you'll get that. Not the case. At one point, I think there was almost it was like, I don't remember what song it was. They ended one song, they stopped, a little bit of applause. It was almost like the applause had completely calmed down. 20 seconds later, they get in to the wedge or something. So this wasn't like, You know, I don't know. I don't know. A lot was going on in '04, obviously. And then the set itself was only 57 minutes long. Most of the songs had unusually long gaps, anywhere from 10 to like 40 seconds. Not every single song, but quite a few times. Even extended into the second set a little bit. And with the 57-minute first set, you're like, oh, then they must have played an hour and a half or something in the second set, or a 25-minute encore. No, nope, not at all. Not the case. Trey just not feeling it this night at Deer Creek. And you know, I'm not actually a 57-minute set's not bad. I see, man, early in this comeback in '09, '10, they were playing like hour and a half. Oh my God, hour and 38-minute sets, and like an hour and 15-second set. I don't need all that. I was just saying earlier, I need a second King Gizzard set, but I'm talking like an hour and five, and then maybe an encore. That's good enough for me. That's plenty, you know. You get these 3-hour shows now, and then occasionally, look, you want to bust off a marathon show, absolutely, you know. But Phish is touring all summer. Come on, that seems a little bit much. All right, so I don't know why I'm complaining about too much stage time, while I'm also questioning why they only play for 57 minutes. It just seemed like there was absolutely no flow. And like I mentioned, I think it was maybe just a couple of nights later, the 26th maybe of 2004, when I was up at Alpine, and they had the same situation. They would play like, I don't know, maybe Boogie on Reggae Woman and something, and then stop, and 30 seconds later they played Stash, and a couple minutes later they played another song, Divided Sky. It was weird. It was just no flow at all. Big Character Zero ended that night, if I'm not mistaken. There wasn't a lot of good shows in '04, but that Alpine show, the 26th, I believe it was, had the Stash, Divided Sky, I think. That guy that did not want Rogue. I've told that story before. We were pretty far back, man. We weren't near the stage. We were in the pavilion, but didn't have the greatest of seats. Somebody was like, Rogue! And this other guy was like, no! I don't know. I like Rogue. I'm a Rogue guy, but that's what I decided. Well, Rogue's not a fan favorite. All right, so I've rambled on enough, and I do have some whiteboards left. Not only the Gizzard whiteboard, I got both of the North Carolina ones, not surprisingly, both Huntsvilles, both Star Lakes, the Syracuse, and then MSG 5, 6, and 7. If anybody's interested in a whiteboard, you know, let me know. You can find my email here on the channel, Instagram. I'm FZappa20. It's the best way to do it. Sometimes people just leave a comment on on my YouTube, man. You got to try a little harder. Sorry if that's insulting. If you're an old geezer and you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know about all this stuff. You can find it. All right, guys. Well, I think that about does it. King Gizzard, I got you. If you were a Gizzard fan and you showed up and I started talking Phish, you're probably long gone. If you're a Phish fan and you had to sit through some Gizzard, I'm sorry. Did it really kill you? Check out that Hypertension. I mean, if you like Phish and you like jam bands, check out Hypertension and Iron Lung. Boom. We are out of here. Boom. Might have to throw a left. Kind of don't want to leave, man. It's a real sad, lonely life I lead here in this room, watching King Gizzard shows, playing a 9-year-old college football game on PlayStation 3, cat and girlfriend asleep in the other room. I know you're probably like, come on, dude. I know you got a cat, but don't act like you got a girlfriend. I do, I swear. Promise. Boom. One of these days we're going to start doing duo whiteboards. I'll be on one side, she'll be on the other. She'll represent the chomper. She likes Free. That's good. That's good stuff. She likes Sin of a Mule. That's good. I think one night she told me she liked Character Zero and more, though. I was like, you're out of here. Boom. Love you guys.